Hi. Hey guys, welcome back to another video. Another day in the life, I should say, but it's just a regular day in the life. A day in the life of a full-time mom, not a full-time working mom. I'm sure a lot of you saw and noticed in the last two videos that I posted, my all day clean with me and my get it all done, that there are no more monitors in my room, no more computer monitors on my desk. So I think it's pretty much safe to say, and to put all of the questions to rest, yes, I am no longer working at the job that I was working at. So previously I was a stay-at-home, well, I still am a stay-at-home mom, but previously I was working full-time at home for a bank. I was in their mortgage servicing department, or you can kind of say customer service, if you will. Basically, I took inbound calls. I helped customers with their mortgages, any questions that they had with their loans, took payments over the phone, went over escrow and taxes, insurance, pretty much everything that has to do with their property. I went over that with them and I assisted them with any questions that they had. I ended up landing that particular job with that particular bank through a job agency. So I wasn't necessarily hired on full-time really with the company. I was contracted with that company under the job agency that I was working for. When you're working for a job agency, there's also a lot of things that aren't beneficial if you were to kind of get hired on full-time with the actual company. So I was not getting paid the same as other fellow coworkers that were actually working at the job that got hired through the bank. I was essentially doing the exact same job, dealing with the exact same stress, and held to the exact same standards as a regular full-time employee that was actually hired through the bank. However, since I was hired through the job agency and I was contracted with them and not necessarily hired full-time with the actual job, I was actually getting paid roughly about $4 or $5 less, and still had to do the same job, still held to the same standards, still had to meet the same quotas, and still dealing with the same stress. Except I had none of the benefits. I didn't have the health insurance benefits that came with it. I didn't get the same amount of pay that I should have been paid and was deserving of. And also the stress of the job in itself, it was really just deterring me, or it was really just kind of putting me off from wanting to stay in this job long term. And there was really no foresight into potentially getting hired on with this job long term. And honestly, even if there was, I don't even know if I would want to. Just the overall stressors of that job, the demanding, the angry people that you have to deal with, and just the overall distasteful job environment is not something that I could have foreseen myself doing long term. So, long story short, my contract with that job has ended. So I'm no longer employed or working for that company. So right now I am looking for new work, better work opportunities for myself and for my family. And honestly, I couldn't be more grateful. I couldn't be more happy. Like, it's the best way I can describe it is feeling as if you're trapped in something and finally being able to get out and finally being released and feeling free. That's exactly how I feel. Every day that I don't have to go to that job is such a relief, and I don't regret not having to be there. To be honest with you, this job was definitely not willing to work with me in so many aspects when it came to my kids. And there was a lot of times that I had to put this job aside to be there for my kids, to pick them up from school, to drop them off at school, because I couldn't afford daycare. Daycare is just that's something in a whole different category of its own, but daycare is just, it is through the roof as far as finances go. I don't understand how, even if you have a full-time job, how you're able to provide or to afford daycare. It's so expensive. So it wasn't something that I could afford, and I had to, you know, definitely call off work sometimes. to be there for kids. The kids were sick and I needed to be there for them. You guys saw those types of situations. And speaking of sick, like the job, when you work for a job, you acquire sick hours or you acquire paid time off because you put in the work, so you acquire those hours. When I was contracted under this job agency, and again, there was no full benefits of actually working for a company because I didn't have all that. I only had 24 hours a year of sick time. How does that even work? Like, that's 3 days. Like, you could only get sick once, and only me. So like, if my kids got sick, oh well. If I got sick, oh well. Like, come on, we're in the middle of a whole pandemic here. Like, people are gonna get sick. And saying that I can only have 24 hours of sick time that are covered, that made no sense. There were so many things about this job that made no sense. And it was mostly tied to me working under the job agency and not having that security of actually working for a company. You know what I mean? And on top of that, working for a company that I wouldn't have even wanted to work for anyways. I didn't like the job overall. Hopefully I can utilize some of this experience that I have and the work that I did at this job to incorporate that and find a better job where I actually can go through the company, not a job agency, so I can have more benefits and more job security. But yeah, that is where I'm at right now, and I have a lot of time on my hands to work on the things that I love. And I'm taking this opportunity to focus on YouTube and to focus on my career in this category because it's always what I wanted to do, and I've never given up on it, and I don't find myself ever thinking that I could give up on it. There are times where it gets hard, but it was mostly because I was trying to juggle being a full-time working mom, a full-time mom, and trying to be committed full-time to YouTube as well, and it got really overwhelming. So right now, since I don't have to work and stress about a full-time job, then I can give more to YouTube and also give all of myself to my children, which is priority always. Also, G bought me some flowers. And honestly, whenever he surprises me with flowers, it's just like the best thing. He always surprises me with flowers, but I never anticipate it. You know what I mean? Like, I know he's gonna get me flowers, but I never anticipate when he's gonna get it. So when I get them, it's always a nice surprise. He's just so amazing. And I really love just having flowers and candles going in my house. It honestly just brightens up my whole vibe of my home and just makes me feel so good to see fresh, beautiful flowers and smell a lovely burning candle as well. Oh my goodness, and my coffee. Oh, it's so nice to just enjoy my time. Look at this space. I just feel like it's so much cleaner, less wires to worry about. As soon as I took those monitors down, the brightness in my room just went up and everything just got brighter and happier, and I just felt so relieved. So what I need to do is tackle this laundry. It's fully clean. I just need to finish folding it. I did everybody's laundry this weekend except for mine. So I'm gonna fold this, and then I think we're gonna go pick up the kids in a bit too. I'm kind of just like looking around my life for the past few weeks, and I just feel so much better. And I'm just like kind of like going back to how I felt before. I felt completely and entirely unmotivated with life. And honestly, most of it was because of that job. It was just so daunting. And just this dark cloud over my life. I was grateful for the job. I was grateful for the income, but dang, like other than that, there was really no reason for me to stay. And the only reason that I did stay was because, and this is definitely some deep soul searching that I'm going to need to figure out later on, and actually right now is moving forward with my life, but why did I even stay at that job? Like, why did I stay so long when I was miserable from literally like, God, the second month? And honestly, there was so much that was telling me to just get out now, leave now. So with the job agency, there was about 25 of us that were put on the assignment to go and work for this company. And out of 25 people, after 2 months of training, because they just give you 2 months of training, and honestly, the training wasn't even that great, if I'm gonna say that. They kind of just threw you out there and was like, figure it out as we go, which I totally didn't like, but whatever. I basically pushed myself through that job. And out of 25 people that were hired on, only 3 of us remained, including myself. And gosh, that should have just told you right then and there, like, this is just some wild type of business that you're trying to get into here, Dominique. And there was just something in my core, and that I just felt this anxiety from literally my first full day out of training, on the job, working, just continuous anxiety for the last few months. Every day, just every day anxious. And I didn't have any good routine for myself, even though I tried to impart one and kind of incorporate this full-time work. I'm the type of person where I'm big on routines. Y'all already know, like, routines literally put me at ease, and I feel like I have structure, and I am my best self when there's a routine for myself or for my kids, and there's a routine for us to follow. With this job, I felt like my routine had to be all like wrapped up around this job, and everything had to be done around this job, and I didn't like that, you know? And I didn't like the fact of feeling like my life was passing me by, and that's what I felt. And the biggest part is, like, I felt like my life was passing me by, and it was going nowhere when I was at this job. I wasn't doing the things that I wanted. I wasn't fulfilling any type of self, you know, like, I didn't feel like I was fulfilled working at this job. I asked myself, well, why did I even stay for so long? Despite the anxiety that I felt every day, despite the fact that my whole life was all out of whack and the routine was all upside down, and I felt completely unmotivated because I was unhappy with where my life was at with this job and how everything was surrounded with it. I felt like I was lacking in, you know, taking care of my kids, and I wasn't being a good mother because I was working too much and giving my all to a job that literally didn't even have the courtesy to pay me what I deserve to get paid. I touched bases with my therapist, like, why do I feel like I can't leave this job? And why do I feel like I'm trapped and I have no options? Why do I feel like I have to stay here? And this is what she says. The reason why is because I want to feel so desperately like I'm providing value to my relationship and to my children and to my parents and to you guys, like, everything. I'm just so desperate to feel like I'm providing value. Everything just paused in my mind and in my heart, and I was like, that is 100% true. I was so scared to leave this job, not for myself, not because I didn't feel like I couldn't get another job, not because, you know, I felt like I was so desperate for money and this was the only thing that I could have right now. No, I stayed for this job. And if I really think about it, I stayed for this job because I wanted to provide value in this relationship with G. I wanted to contribute somehow financially, I guess, and feel like I am doing my part. And also, because of my mom, I didn't want to leave this job because I knew that I know that it comforted her to know that I had a good job right now, and she didn't have to worry about me. And I didn't want her to have to worry about me or my kids. And so I stayed at this job. I went through it. I put myself through it. And also for you guys, I felt, and I know that my channel has been so much more relatable because I was working this full-time job, because it's real life. Like, we all are working. The majority of you are working. and you're feeling the things that I'm feeling, and I wanted to be there for you in a way, and I didn't care. Like, I didn't care how I was feeling, because that didn't matter. I wanted to focus on everybody else and take care of everybody else's feelings, no matter the anxiety or the stress that I was feeling. And I was so miserable, and I felt like a terrible mother as well, because you know, kids would come in and they need help with homework, and I'm like, I'm on the phone, I'm working, go, shut the door, get out, go watch TV, go use your tablet, go do this. Like, and not like, just looking back at that, that's not the type of mother that I am. I've never been that type of mom. My kids always come first. Like, thank God that I didn't put my kids so far back on the end where they were waiting for me at school and mom wasn't there to pick them up, because I was so invested in this job that literally could care less about me, and would actually probably replaced me the second that I wasn't on assignment anymore. You just always hear people say, never put your career before your family. And I agree with that. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Like, I can get another job anytime. I only have right now with my kids. My son is 12. His voice just dropped on me like randomly, and I'm looking at these videos from 2 years ago, and he has this little voice, and now he's just my height, looking me in the eyes with a deep voice, scaring me, because he comes in the room talking about mom. Like, I'm like, what? The moments are just flying by, and I don't want to miss them. And that's the reality of it. I feel like this is real life. Nothing is staged here. I couldn't fake it if I wanted to, especially coming on here and sharing my life. I feel like I can only be authentic and try my best. That's all we can do, right? Is just try our best and figure out life as it comes. And when something doesn't feel right, when you're feeling anxious, I find that it's good to just take a step back and reanalyze your situation. This wasn't just some random feeling. I've been feeling this way for so long, for months, and I feel like a weight is lifted off my shoulders, and now I am back in control of my life and what I want to do with my future and live my life on my own terms. And I'm completely content and feel so much better about that. So I'm gonna go pick up Nate, and we're gonna come back. We're gonna help with homework, because I get to do that now. I get to be here to help my daughter with her homework and listen to my son play his beautiful saxophone. All right, guys, BRB. We're home now. I have both the children. They're both doing their drill, washing their hands, unpacking their stuff, and showing me all their paperwork so I can review and make sure that we're all doing what we're supposed to be doing. I am going to go back to editing my video that's going to be going up before this one. So that's what you're going to see me doing my own job, my own schedule, and my own routine in my desk, how I want to. Make sure that when you're writing, you make sure you're writing on the line, where on all the lines that you're supposed to. Otherwise, I'll have to make you start over and do it again properly. Okay, so take your time and focus on writing your name correctly. Usually it takes me, I'm not even lying, it takes me anywhere from 4 to 6 hours to edit a video, to import the music, to make sure that everything is kind of edited how I like it. YouTube itself is like a full-time job. Like, you could literally sit here for hours just doing editing, or just editing content, you know? So anyways, I actually just uploaded my all day clean with me this morning, and I've been editing my next video, which is the get it all done, which it'll get uploaded before this day in the life video. going to do these spelling words that we have for the week right here. Number 1, ready? Leg. Number 2, beg. Bag. Men. Make sure you write on the line. So this G, that's not how it's supposed to be. And this G either. So you may be, girl, go get a napkin. You may be spelling these right, but you need to write them right also. Go get a napkin. Get the napkin and come and erase this and do it properly. By the way, I did not buy these willingly. These are Halloween candies that are just floating in the house. And I'm letting the kids kind of just have some leeway and just eat their candy. You know, being a little less strict and letting them just enjoy and be free. Alrighty, so fix that because I'm ready to do my next one. Write your G properly. It needs to fill up the whole space from the dotted line to the bottom. There. Look over there. Say it in your head and just write the word down. The last word is again. Again. That one's a tricky one. Again. Find me the word again. And find me the word bread. It sounds like head, but it's b-er-ed. So those are the words you need to write down 5 times each. And I want to hear you say the word when you write and finish completing the word that you're writing, okay? And erase this better, all these little extra things, so you can write properly. Right now, I'm pretty much finished like working for the day and like editing these videos. I was like at it all day since 9 in the morning and it's like 5:45, so I'm pretty tired. Nathan's showering, Nadia's outside playing. I'm about to call her in for dinner in a minute. I was gonna film cooking dinner, but G beat me to it. He got super excited and just came home and just showered and started cooking. So today is Taco Tuesday and we are making fish tacos. Let me show you pretty much what we have going on. He's already cooking the tortillas and heating them on the stove. So we have some in here. And we have the fish baking off in the oven. And G refried some of these beans. Well, basically heated them up on the stove. And pico, it's a lot of tomato. Not enough onion in here.
More onion.
Okay. And then we have the cold slaw mix that's gonna go in the tacos. And I am gonna make the ranch dressing that's gonna go on top of our tacos. Favorite dressing in the house, super easy. I tried to throw it in the trash.
Saw that.
I made this before and I forgot to buy almond milk because the goat milk's a little bit sweet for the ranch. I like it a little bit more savory, but this is what we have. So this is what we'll use for tonight. I made a lot, but it'll last us for the week. Like, we can do carrots and cucumbers, celery, and dip it. And we can, we're gonna have a Cobb salad, so we can put it in here, or put that in here, or put this in there. And then for tacos tonight. So it's a lot, but it'll get eaten. That's a lot of beans. He's cleaning the dishes. I didn't ask him to do it, he's just doing it.